Hi, my name is Nakia Shakur. Everyone calls me Kia, and I have been a digital advertising analyst for the past 13 years. And recently, I have decided to get into digital advertising coaching, specializing in Meta ads and Google ads. So in this video, I am going to go over the top 5 mistakes that I've noticed when people are launching their Meta ads. And I'm telling you, number 1 will definitely surprise you. So number 5, checking your ads way too soon. Listen, this is probably the number 1 most understandable mistake that people make. I get it. You're spending money in these campaigns. You want to make sure they're working and you want to make sure that there's no major mistakes. So I get checking to make sure your settings are right, your budget is set, and that Facebook hasn't rejected anything. But do not start considering making changes. Facebook works on Meta ads. I'm old, so I'm going to say Meta and Facebook, but it's the same thing. So Meta/Facebook works on an algorithm. It is looking at every component of your ad to find the right people who are going to convert or take the action that you want based on your objective. And if you check it too, even if you make changes way too soon, you're throwing off that algorithm while it's in the learning phase and basically starts you back from zero. So my best advice, don't actually look at anything until probably day 3. And don't start making changes until day 4 or 5. Why? Because you're giving the algorithm enough time to learn more about your campaigns and optimize so that you can make better decisions. Number 2, not understanding your Meta ad audiences. And this is probably the most complicated one, but listen, before you launch ads, really get to know your avatar, who you're targeting, and what action do you want them to take. I'm stuttering because I go back and forth about this all the time. I have been in multiple people's courses, even my own ad agency. Should you have this huge, giant $33 million audience, or should you be more niche? It really depends on the location you're targeting and the audience that you're targeting. I know that sounds confusing. So if you're targeting, let's say somebody like, fitness coaches or people who own gyms, you're going to want to have people who are into fitness, of course, but you also want to target interests that they would target as business owners. So maybe it's software, maybe it's CRMs, maybe it's different professional fitness coaching. So you want to make sure you have that audience built, and you understand it before you even launch ads. And you can do that. You can start working on your audiences before you even launch your ads. Number 3, choosing a budget. I've seen people make all kinds of mistakes with saying that they're launching campaigns and they start with $5 a day, or people who are like, I'm going to launch with $100 a day. Both of these are wrong. $5 a day is not a big enough budget to do anything. $100 a day may be too big of a budget for when you're launching. So there has to be a sweet spot. And I know people have formulas and calculations that they've come up with, they're giving people, none of them are right. None of them are going to give you what you want. So what my suggestion is that you start with something that feels comfortable, between $15 and $20 a day. That might be a lot for some people who are launching ads. It might be too little for people who have $100. But you want to make sure that you're growing slowly. If you throw too much budget at Facebook too soon, it's going to be like, I just have to spend the budget. So I'm just going to be pulling in all these people, whether they're good for, your conversions or not. It's just going to be trying to bring in all of these people because it just wants to spend your budget. So I suggest $15 a day. The number 2 mistake that people made, which you might think this is number 1. Number 1 will definitely surprise you, but it's a huge issue. Number 2 mistake is not having a way to really track your conversions. I've seen this a lot too. People will get these robust CRMs or platforms, depending on what kind of vertical that they're in, and realize, oh wait, I can't actually connect. My website won't track anything that from Meta. It won't let me place a Meta pixel, or it won't let me place an event pixel, or it won't let me create a custom conversion. It won't let me do any of that. But I paid all this money for it, and I just have to go with it. That's really difficult to launch ads with. I actually wouldn't recommend that if you do have a system like that, but you need to make sure you find some kind of way to make sure you can always track your conversions. You want to make sure your ROI is good, and you want to make sure that your leads that are coming in are going into a system so that they can move into next steps. Whether that's an email sequence, maybe that's, getting into the right product page, maybe that's remarketing, but you want to make sure you can always track your conversions. A good way to kind of figure that out or make it quote unquote work is utilizing Zapier. So we are here. What is the number 1 mistake that I see people make when they are launching their Meta accounts or their Facebook pages? And the number 1 thing is hiring VAs. And this is not an anti-VA situation, but what I've seen happen is People, entrepreneurs, small business owners, your high webinar coaches, your consultants, they will reach out to a VA because they're busy people and they don't have time to go through the rigmarole of launching campaigns or creating a business manager. So they'll reach out to a VA to do it. And the VA normally either only gives the business owner or the entrepreneur like a lower level access, or doesn't give them access at all. And nobody notices. This will go on for a long period of time. Nobody will notice it. And then when that VA leaves, you no longer have access to your ad account. I can't tell you how many times in the past year I have had people come to me and say, well, I'm trying to reach out to my VA because I don't have access to my Facebook page, or I'm trying to reach out to my VA because I don't have access to my business manager. If they can't get access, there's nothing anybody can do. The door's kind of closed on the ad account, and then you have to start from scratch. So listen, I am not anti-VA because they're super helpful. I love the ones that I've worked with in the past, but when they are launching those campaigns, you need to make sure they are adding you as an admin on that account and screenshot it as proof so that you know on your meta ads that you are an admin and that you can actually make changes on billing, your data set, and it's your overall ads manager. And even this also goes for your Google Ads account. So again, I know number one seems surprising, but I can't tell you how many people have these great campaigns, all this data set with all this history on it, and then when their VA left, they had nothing to start with. So listen, those are the top 5 mistakes that I've seen so far as a digital advertising consultant. And if you're interested in hiring me as your consultant, you can look in the description box for my website and reach out to me. Whether you're needing just an audit, whether you're needing someone to just kind of like step in for a little bit and get things back on track, or maybe you're just looking for a consultation, I am available. Again, my name is Nakia Shakur, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.